and he's still got these problems. These are problems that just don't go away. Once we pick up the pea pipe, once we pick up a joint, that's us for quite a while, you know, and it ruins our life. One Christmas I had my parents come down. We were all having Christmas dinner, and I had people coming and buying honey bags, and my mum says to me, son, you know, why do you do that? Well, it's Christmas Day, you got your family here, why are you letting people come here to buy that shit? My reply to that was to tell my parents to get the fuck out of my house. I virtually threw my dad, all because I was coming down from P. We had a big Christmas dinner that I couldn't eat, so I just threw it to the dogs in front of everybody. I guess a couple of days later I felt bad about it, but at the time I didn't really care. My parents packed up and went all the way back to Auckland, Christmas Day. My mum was shattered, and they sort of didn't talk to me until I ended up in jail. These are the effects that drug dealing within the household has on your family. You know, you're in it for the money, and there's nothing that comes before that money. And unfortunately at the time I didn't feel the same way I do now, as where family comes first. Family is everything, and when we blatantly do these things to our family, we're just hurting them, you know, and it's just something, like I say, we don't think about at the time as drug dealers and gang members. We're just doing our thing, you know, that's how we roll, and that's all there is to it. And I'm just glad that my son broke my heart while I was in jail. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking on this video right now, answering these questions. I'd probably be out looking for the next fix, cooking the next batch, ripping off another couple of pounds, whatever it takes to stay in the game. I know there's a lot of people out there probably understand what I'm saying. There's some that just think, oh, what a cop out. Well, you know, you've got to live it to know it. And unfortunately, some of us don't move on. We you know, we die with our patch on our back. I'm going to die with my patch in my heart, but I'm going to die with my family and my soul. That's, you know, that's a heart beats, but a soul can bleed, and I think mine bled for too long. I ended up patching up that wound by having my boy. Also going back to school, learning my whakapapa, learning who I really am. I live my life thinking, like everybody else, it's the Māori way, but now I know that's not the Māori way. It's not the Māori way at all. We're strong, respectful people. We immerse ourselves in family and love, and it's not the Māori way to be a gang member or a drug dealer. We're just killing our own, we're killing our people. And the thoughts of family and community, you know, I had some really good neighbours, they were really good people, lovely couple. Once I introduced them to P, the husband hung himself, the wife now lives in Oz, kids are all strung out on it. And before they met me, they were fine. There's these things I think of sometimes, and just feel a heaviness in my heart. At the time I didn't care. Even when he killed himself, I didn't care. My first thought was to try and get into his missus. These are things you do when you're not yourself, you know, when you're fried, when you haven't slept for 7 days, haven't eaten for 10. You still think you're functioning perfectly, but you're not. After a couple of months in jail, I came back to normal. I was able to sleep. I started to see things clearly, and it was around about the same time as my son broke my heart, so I guess I came down pretty hard. But I've always been like a cat. I can hit the ground running, which is what I've done. I've turned around, and now I make sure. I used to say my drug dealing was to keep my family happy, but really it was only for me. It's a personal thing. I liked the stigma. I liked being known as the man. I liked having the money to be the man. Um, Throughout that whole time though, I didn't realise how much I was hurting the people I love. Like I say, I'm 34 years old now and I live alone with my son. Um, you get to a point where you feel like you've lost everything. Well, you have, you do, and you have to start again. And the longer you wait, the older you get, the harder it is to pick yourself back up off the ground. Fortunately for me, even though I have no family around, I have some very supportive friends who understand the sacrifices I've made and the changes I've gone through. And with their help, I've sort of been able to move on. You know, life still sucks. I still wake up some mornings depressed and can't get out of bed. You know, got no job. Where am I going to get food from? But it's still not enough to take me back to who I was. I could quite easily right now go down and get a pound, sell it off and have heaps of money. But as a role model, as the job I've been doing, the mentoring and supervision of 6 kids, that would be wrong. Everything I've taught them would be a lie. And it's one thing I've always been, is I've been straight up. I don't lie. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen, and I'll say it, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, no, families is the most important thing. Family are the ones that are going to be there when you're down, when you're out, when you're broke, when you're done, when you're in jail. Your family is always there. But when we're out of jail, when we're doing our thing, and when we've got money and we're on top of the world, we tend to forget that. And I know there'll be a lot of people that would agree with that. But what I like to say is, get back to your roots, get back to your whānau. Find your marae and sleep there for a few days. Find yourself. There's too many of us Māori people out there running around with our wairua missing. It just doesn't